Welcome to episode 16 of Walk It Off with Chappy. And before I start this segment, let me preface this by saying I grew up in Houston for 10 years. I'm a UH fan. I'm the biggest Andre Ware supporter you'll probably ever meet, even still to this day. Loved seeing what Case Keenum did under Kevin Sumlin. But I think we got to pump the brakes on the 2022 version of the Cougars. Now, let's look at what they've got coming back. Yeah, they had a great season last year, and they're bringing back a good amount of that defense. They lose a couple guys up front, but all in all, their front six. They're 3-3 stacked defense. That looks good. They're 5 guys in the secondary. They lose 3 starters out of that secondary, but they were pretty deep in the defensive backfield, and Doug Belk is one of the best D coordinators in the country, so hang on to him and enjoy him as long as you can, UH fans. But here's my concerns, all right? Wide receiver, they're a little bit thin. Behind Tank Dell and behind Keyshawn Carter, I'm not really sold on what they've got, at least early on. They dipped into the transfer portal a little bit, but beyond that, they're a little thin at wide receiver for a team that likes to chuck it around the yard. I like Alton McCaskill at running back, but behind him, Tajon Henry comes back, and good back and all. But up front, their offensive line was not the best last year, especially at protecting Clayton Tune and keeping opposing defenses out of the backfield. They were in the 100s out of 130 teams in sacks allowed and TFLs allowed. Now, they lose 3 guys from that offensive front, and you might think addition by subtraction, but I don't know that I buy into that. You look at their schedule. Some people will point out and say, well, they don't have to play Cincinnati and they don't have to play UCF. Well, to me, I looked at it as that may not test them as well. There's a 3-week or 3-game span in 6 weeks where they have to play at Memphis, at SMU, and at East Carolina, which is, I think, going to be that wild card team in the AAC this year. But it comes down to the Dana Holgorsen factor. And no disrespect to Coach Hogo, but he's only topped 8 wins 3 times in 11 years as a head coach. And every time that his team did get to double-digit wins, the following season they dropped down to only 7 victories. So all that combined makes me say, let's hold off on UH hype in 2022.